know, that scene that's going to play out on Sunday at the Vatican with the Pope inside an empty St. Peter's Square is playing out on a smaller scale in churches across the United States, where people are going to celebrate Easter. They're going to observe Good Friday today over screens and listening to their pastors and their priests, and people celebrating Passover, listening to their rabbis, not being able to congregate physically, but finding a way to show the faith.
Yeah, that's what so many people have done over Passover. It's what obviously many will do today on Good Friday and then do again on Easter, watch through live streaming. Jon Meacham, so, you know, the pace of life throughout the 20th and 21st century has quickened so much that we've had little time for reflection. And here we find ourselves where the entire world has come to a standstill. Just scenes of death and disease and pain and destruction, and really is crippling for so many people, and a lot of people who are watching right now. The isolation, the loneliness, people by themselves, cut off from other human interaction. It's certainly, we have time to reflect right now on how terrible actually things have been. And I would say, and I'm speaking only for myself, how much we've taken for granted throughout our entire lifetime. I've got a feeling that even the small things, after this terrible tragedy passes, even those small things that we once took for granted, we'll never be able to take for granted again, that this will change us on this Good Friday and beyond spiritually.
Yeah, a secular and a sacred response. The secular one is, if you think about American history, broadly put, we have not had a common experience of this duration that genuinely affected everyone since the Great Depression. Right? The Cuban Missile Crisis publicly lasted a short period of time. September 11th, the fear, the anxiety, but it was geographically limited. So the Depression, World War II are far more analogous in terms of the communal experience. And so this does have the capacity to change us in more fundamental ways, I think, than anything since Pearl Harbor, really. And we're also going to be approaching unemployment numbers that were where they were at the end of the 1930s. What finally put America back to work was not the New Deal, but the Second World War. And so that's something to bear in mind in terms of proportion. The more sacred answer is, this is the holiest week for Christians and Jews. Passover, Good Friday, the Great Vigil tomorrow, Easter Sunday. My view of today, Good Friday, is in many ways, it's the hinge in Western history. It's the hinge of history. What happened at Golgotha, and we know as much about Jesus historically as we do about Socrates, right? We know what he taught. We know how he died. Whether you believe or not, that's pretty self-evident. How we tell time was determined today because of the events of the Passion. And the last thing I'll say is passion itself is particularly relevant at this moment because the root of the word is to suffer. It's about Jesus suffering through the arrest, the trial, the crucifixion, and then ultimately overcoming it through the triumph of Easter. But we are all, in a way, in tribulation. We're all suffering something. And I'd argue that actually a re-engagement with the story of one's faith is a useful way forward.
And as you said, whether it's spiritual, as we were talking about, or secular, showing kindness to others where in the past maybe we haven't done as good a job, or being more understanding, being more thoughtful, being more mindful than we have in the past. This is giving everybody time to reflect during this terrible time for so many millions of Americans.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.